I'm a huge baseball fan. There's no secret about that. Have been since I was just a little guy, and I love statistics and records. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the stupidest name in sports, robbed not one, not two, but 3 Seattle Mariners would-be home runs. Is it a legal catch if you catch it and fall into the stands? Yes, it is, and we've got photographic proof. Look, I'm a huge baseball fan. There's no secret about that. Have been since I was just a little guy, and I love statistics and records. And I've had conversations with friends many times. I always perk up when this conversation happens online. What are some of the most unbreakable records in baseball? And there are some of the usual suspects that come up. You hear people talk about Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters, or maybe you might say Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. Both of those come up. Some of them seem like they're crazy. 511 wins for Cy Young. You're not going to have very many guys make 511 starts probably in the future of baseball. So some of these become unobtainable just because the game changes. Ricky Henderson, 1,406 career stolen bases. Imagine that happening today. It's hard. Cal Ripken Jr., 2,632 consecutive games played. With all the load managing that goes on in pro sports today, it's an achievement if a guy can just make it through one season without missing a game. Maybe Johnny Vandermeer's 2 no-hitters. You might match it, but I don't see anybody breaking. Well, we can add another one to the pantheon of baseball's unbreakable records, courtesy of Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the stupidest name in sports. Right fielder Joe Adell, who on Saturday night at the Big A robbed not 1, not 2, but 3 Seattle Mariners would-be home runs. And I tweeted about it then. You can add 3 home run robberies in one game to the list of Major League records that'll never be broken. The Angels won that game 1-0. Imagine being the guy when your team wins 1-0 because you stole 3 dongs and got the last one out of the crowd like you were Bugs Bunny taking on the Gas House Gorillas. And people were asking about this. Is it a legal catch if you catch it and fall into the stands? Yes, it is, and we've got photographic proof. And we can add this to the great baseball photos of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Joe Adell coming up with his 3rd robbery of the game in the 9th inning, and there he is, just man of the people. Number 7 in your scorebook, number 1 in your heart. At least on Saturday night, if you are a LA Angels fan. That photo taken by a fan, she posted it on her Instagram, I believe. It got picked up, and give her the Pulitzer right now. And her competition is only going to be other people who got photos of this at different angles. Take a look at this one. One of the most unbelievable catches to culminate one of the most unbelievable defensive games that anybody has ever had in Major League Baseball. And if you want to know how rare it is, Tim, I'm going to skip ahead here just one element. If you want to know exactly how rare this is, you might be asking yourself, well, when was the last time somebody robbed 3 homers in the same game? And the answer is, we don't know, because the data really only goes back to 1995, the wild card era. We've got over 70,000 games since then. This is the first game since 1995, at least, where there have been 3 home run robberies in the same game. And I don't mean by one player or even by one team. I mean in the entire damn game. We have not had a Major League game in over 30 years. And again, I will say at least, because we don't know how far back it goes exactly. It could go back to Abner Doubleday, for all I know. There hadn't been a game in over 30 years with 3 robberies, period. Both teams combined. Joe Adell does it by himself. Okay, back to the question of, is that a legal catch when you catch the ball and then you're in the stands. He caught it while he was hanging over the stands, came up with it, showed everybody he had it, which is always the baller move, even if you're in Little League, right? When you hold it up, it's just letting everybody know, yeah, I got that motherfucker. He did it from the stands. Yes, it is legal. And I would instruct some of you back to Baseball Bugs. Bugs Bunny against the Gas House Gorillas. Do you remember how the final out was recorded? Bugs Bunny got one launched on him. He had to take a taxi cab to the Empire State Building, make his way to the top, and then scale a flagpole in order to secure the 27th out of the game. And yes, the umpire ruled that indeed it was a legal catch. So there you go. C.B. Buckner could have never. Now, other news in Major League Baseball. I got mentioned on a telecast yesterday. I want to shout out John Sadak and the Cincinnati Reds. The Yacht Rock Playlist consultant sent me a text and said, they just mentioned your tweet on the Reds game. And, you know, being the baller that I am, I have MLB TV. So I was like, well, when was it? I'll go check it out. And so I went back and listened to it. And they very kindly referenced this tweet that I sent out on, I guess it was Saturday night that I put this one up. Eugenio Suarez of the Cincinnati Reds, their third sacker, over at the hot corner, blowing a world-class bubble there. And so I was just watching the game, and I was like, I turned around to my girlfriend. I said, honey, did you see that? He just blew a ginormous bubble. And so I rewound it, got it back there, and then just froze the screen, took a picture, tweeted it. And next thing you know, I'm semi-famous, Ronnie. Let me welcome to the program now another man who is famous. A man who is so famous that he can't get into his X account. I got NFL Pro Bowlers sending me messages wondering when this guy's going to get back on X. I speak, of course, of the international streaming star he is, Ronnie T-Shirts. Ronnie, Joe Adell's game, 3 robberies. I say it every time something comes up baseball. You're not a baseball guy, but how can you not love a sport that gives you 3 home run robberies in one game, and then we got a motherfucker out here challenging the Guinness record with a mouthful of hubba bubba going on in a different game. God bless baseball.
You know, I'm obviously a huge sports fan. I don't like watching baseball games, but I will tell you, I do enjoy watching baseball highlights. It's just, I have the attention span of a 5-year-old, and the games are just, they're too long, and they're just too, I don't know, just too much in between that I'm just not interested in. But that being said, that was so badass, man. Like, I saw it and it was so badass. Kind of made, it feels like he was a goalie, either in hockey or soccer, getting a clean sheet or a shutout because it was 1-0. And he was the reason that they won because he stopped 3 shots. He stopped 3 shots. If he had
homered, if they had won 1-0 on a Joe Adell home run, which is not what happened, it might have been the greatest game that anybody's ever played. You could certainly make that argument.
Right.
You know, it would be right. I know we said Ohtani. He hit 3 homers and threw 6 shutout innings in the playoffs last year. But, Ron, you might enjoy what they call the condensed game on MLB TV. It just gives you the decisive pitch of each at bat. So you don't have to worry about all the everything, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know that existed.
Just get right
I didn't
to
know
the
it
money.
existed.
Shots.
But I will tell you, Big Ten Network does football games in 60. So, like, I'll watch football games in 60. And it just play to play. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't mind watching that, Ricky. I'm a condensed guy.
Yeah. It's a good, because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of walks nowadays. Pitching is nastier than ever, but a little bit of MLB history made this weekend, and not of the entertaining kind either. This is not a record that MLB really wants to see broken, and yet it was. Take a look at this. There were 269 walks over the weekend, Ron. the most in a 2-day span since at least the year 1900. And they weren't even playing the same fucking game back then. That is a lot of free passes. That is a lot of 3-2 counts. That is a lot of standing around and doing nothing. And Ron, I would say that the rules changes that they've made in recent years to baseball they've been very healthy for the game, I think. The pitch clock, you don't even think about it when you're watching the game. I did see a pitch clock violation this weekend while I was watching one, but for the most part, you don't think about it. It keeps the game moving. The bases being bigger have brought the stolen base back into the game somewhat. Banning the shift it's more entertaining. They've done a lot of good stuff. But one thing that I would love to see, and I'm sure every manager in baseball agrees with me on this, is more strikes. There is nothing more boring than balls not getting put into play. And strikeouts, which are higher than ever and have been on an upward trend for forever, and walks are not entertaining. Baseball has a lot of good momentum happening right now. The biggest thing it's got to worry about is not having a work stoppage next year. Second biggest thing, still, if there is a way, Theo Epstein and people who are smarter than me, we need some more balls in play. There's just too much inactivity with walks and strikeouts in the game today. All right, now, you'll have no problems with inactivity whenever a camera is on Danny Hurley. All right, Dan Hurley, after the Final Four victory, UConn taking down Illinois 71-62. Well, Trey Wallace, Outkick's own intrepid reporter. Wherever Trey is, stuff happens. And I think that we got to credit Trey Wallace. In addition to being a hell of a guy, he's got one heck of a nose on him for being in the right place at the right time, which is about the best skill a reporter could have. Here's what we caught with Dan Hurley celebrating a win maybe a little more publicly than he intended.
You gotta delete that. You gotta delete what I said.
If a man can't celebrate with a motherfucker after punching his ticket to his third national title game in 4 years, I don't even know why anybody would want to be in the game, Ronnie. I got no problem with it.
I like how the camera angle on him was from the side, but he looked ahead of me. He's like, "Hey, you got to delete that." Like he had no idea he was getting filmed from the side.
Yeah, multiple angles, Coach Hurley. Monday night, UConn, Michigan. Michigan laid the wood to Arizona, no problem, 91-73, Ron. And now we've got Michigan, one of the best teams, arguably one of the better teams maybe ever in the history of college basketball. I think that they're, in the conversation for, I'm not going to put them up against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, I know, and a lot of those great teams, but this Michigan team might be the best team of this century, some people. I've heard people saying things like that, but they got to get past UConn. And, I talked about it with Dan Dockich on this show last week. If Dan Hurley can get that third national championship, Dockich himself said it would put him ahead of Bob Knight.
Tonight I am a Husky. I think it's pretty obvious. I bleed whatever shade of blue and white that is. I am a Husky. Dude, Hurley can coach. That's all there is to it. He can coach, and I feel like as much as Michigan put an ass whipping, because that's what it was on Arizona, I just feel like UConn with Hurley at the helm, man, that dude knows how to coach. I think he's going to figure it out. I don't think it's going to be an ass whipping tonight. I think it'll be pretty close.
Have you watched very much college basketball this year? Because I have barely seen Michigan. I'm just going to level with you. I have not seen a lot of Michigan, but the superlatives that I hear people laying on to this Michigan team, I'm going to be watching tonight. I'm going to put a little money on it so that, it's interesting, Ronnie. And I want to see if this Michigan team, I mean, certainly what I saw against Arizona, they look like a juggernaut. If that is a true indication of how good they are, if they come out and they lay a similar ass whooping on UConn, this Michigan team, I think, has to take its place, somewhere in maybe the upper 10% or so of teams that have ever won this tournament, potentially.
Yeah, I'm never going to say anything positive about Michigan, so nope.
Well, all right, I'm going to test that. I'm going to test that.
Go Huskies.
Let's test that right now. All right. I'm going to test your dedication because I'm about to put something up that not even the Grinch who stole Christmas, even his heart is going to get 2 sizes bigger when he sees this, Ron. The Fab Five reuniting in Indianapolis here. Take a look. There they are. It's the gang. Yeah. Ray Jackson, Jimmy King, the other 3 guys. Juwan Howard, Jalen Rose, who tweeted this out, and, of course, Chris Webber. Good to see them together, Ronnie. I know that C-Web and Jalen and maybe some of the other guys, there had been some distance between them. I've heard Jalen discuss it, but they certainly look happy there.
Yeah, fuck them. I don't care. They're Michigan.
Oh, my God. Good Lord.
Yeah, what do I
Webber
care?
Ever come down to where you work and smack the dick out of your mouth?
Doesn't warm my heart. Not at all. Nope,
well,
it's the enemy.
They're not going to go out and win anything now. They're harmless now, Ron.
I'm looking at the enemy.
Is Ohio State Michigan the greatest rivalry in American sports? I mean, animosity level. Serious question.
I mean, you'd have to think that Alabama and Auburn people would argue. You'd have to think that Duke and North Carolina would argue for basketball. But I mean, it's called the game, the football game. I mean, we don't.
Texas and Oklahoma, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be so bold to say it's the biggest because I'm just biased for me. But no, dude, I don't know. Fuck them. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's so great that they're back together. Like, no, they're Michigan.
Well,
Fuck
I
them.
am. You know, it's hard to believe. Can you imagine that 1990 year when they came on the scene? I believe it was, Ron, as freshmen. And became known as the Fab Five, went to the championship game and lost, all of that stuff. 36 years later. How has it been 36 years? You know, it's so crazy to me. Think about how old they were then. Those guys were like 18. Now they've got to be my age. You know, two-thirds of their life has passed since they became famous. Mm-hmm. It's just the Black Sox. Do you remember how influential the Black Sox and
baggy shorts
were?
And the baggy shorts, absolutely.
And the baggy shorts. They redefined fashion in college basketball. They were absolute pioneers. Ron says they can still go fuck themselves. All right, speaking of which, how about I go fuck yourself for 2 more basketball figures? Because I got one in this hand for Geno Auriemma, and I got this one in the other hand for Don Staley. Ron, fuck them both. And I tweeted this out yesterday, any Final Four where Geno Auriemma and Don Staley almost get into a fight and somehow both get blown out in the Final Four. It's a truly blessed event. I'm sorry, producer Tim.
Well, so
with all respect
Ricky,
for Tim.
You were talking about Michigan blowing out Arizona and just saying, well, I mean, this could happen again tonight, right? But South Carolina blew the doors off of UConn in that semifinal of women.
Off an undefeated UConn team. What were they, 38-0?
Yeah, dude, they
blew their doors off. Had a girl out there crying.
Decimated,
Who was the girl
right?
That was crying, Tim? Who was the crier? We had a chick out there crying on the court, like Adam Morrison. Yeah. Remember back in the day?
But they beat UConn so bad.
And they got blown out.
And then they got beat as bad by UCLA. Yeah, and then they got beat as bad.
They beat UConn by 14. They got beat by almost 30 by UCLA.
Crazy.
Breaking this monopoly. See, here's the thing that women's basketball needs, Ron. Women's basketball needs men. No, I'm just kidding. That's what would really fix it. Women's
Megan
basketball
Rapinoe would
needs
like
more
that.
parity. They need more parity, because it does feel like the top programs stand so much taller than the rest. We've talked about it before. You'll be flipping through ESPN scores and somebody gets beat 104-23, and you do a double take and you're like, oh, it was a women's game, because of course it was.
Yeah, South Carolina
so
won by
nice
70 in one of the tournament games.
Yeah, UCLA. UCLA women's program, look, I'm a few credits shy of my women's basketball degree here, but I don't recall UCLA being like a major factor anytime recently in the game. So whatever they have done, it's a pretty incredible run to go through, break through the, Geno, Don Staley, they're the fucking gatekeepers of this entire thing. So kudos to UCLA for injecting some new blood into what I think is kind of a stale aristocracy. I know LSU, we can add Kim Mulkey to that, but it's sort of a stale aristocracy, in my opinion, in women's basketball. All right, Ron, in other news, speaking of women's basketball, Angel Reese has been traded by the Chicago Sky. It's like I hardly knew her. She was here for 2 years. I think back on all the Sky games that I enjoyed while she was here, Ron. As you know, I was at courtside like Spike Lee for all of them. I traveled to many of their away games as well. Always there, urging them on. But now she's on her way to Atlanta, and the Sky will get a couple of first-round picks. Not even this year is one of the picks. So I don't know. Is this addition by subtraction, Ron?
I'm just trying to think of anything that I could care about less than this. Like, who fucking cares, Ricky? Jeez.
Well, let me give you some reasons that you should care. She is a 2025 unrivaled champion.
Oh, well, now that okay. I stand corrected.
Runner-up.
Stand corrected. Oh.
Rookie of the year runner-up.
Oh.
Okay. Two-time All-Star selection. Two-time rebounding champion.
Well,
averaging
we know why.
For her career. Well, she's averaging career double-double.
We know why she's a rebounding champ.
And she has, most importantly, 5.2 million Instagram followers. So there you go.
Oh.
Heading down to, what was the name of the Magic City?
The Dirty South?
Yeah.
No. Oh, Magic City.
Well, I was thinking about Magic City. Yeah. They could, maybe the Atlanta Dream can do a promotion with Magic City, and she can go in there and work a pole for a while. See what happens.
Ricky.
Ricky. I don't know. It's a thought. Cooper Flagg, Ron, speaking of young basketball players, Cooper Flagg's like, he's just collateral damage. He's like, what did I do?
Somebody's going to send him this clip, and he's going to be like, what the fuck, Ricky?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Cooper Flagg for a second, because he had a couple of mega games over the weekend, Ron. Friday night against the Orlando Magic, he puts up 51 points, the first teenager to ever have a 50-point game in the NBA. And then on Sunday, against a decimated LA Lakers team, Cooper Flagg follows it with 45 more. 96 points in his last two games. And the odds makers now have him overtaking Con Knipple as the presumptive favorite for Rookie of the Year. Pretty impressive, Ron. Cooper Flagg looks like he is the real deal.
So I do not, kind of like baseball, I do not consume NBA basketball games, but I do see highlights. He's a badass, dude. Like, I cannot even imagine how good he's going to get when he's got his full body and he's got experience, because he is really good, Ricky. Like, he's really, really good.
He's barely 19.
I know. He's so good.
He just turned 19, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he just turned 20. Or no, he just turned 20. How fucking old is this kid?
I think he just turned 19. No, he's a teenager. You said he's a teenager. He just turned 19.
Well, I know, but that may have been one of my lies, Ron.
Oh, are we playing that game?
He just turned 20?
No,
I mean,
he just turned
played a year
19.
at Duke. He can't be 19.
No, that was the whole thing, wasn't it?
He's Duke.
No, he turned like December. His birthday's like in December. He started at Duke at 17.
I thought he turned 20 in December.
No,
now I'm trying to find it.
No. I'm telling you, he's 19.
That's crazy. He just turned 19.
Yeah, he's a baby.
Well, I'm glad we had this moment because it should be incredible. It should feel incredible. This kid turned 19 in December.
Yeah.
And he's out there hanging up 51 and 45.
Right.
In the association.
And
I know
he doesn't
it's
have
easier now to score than ever before, but it's still remarkable.
And he doesn't have his like grown man body yet, right? Like he's got that frame, and he's going to, over the next probably 4 or 5 years, gain some more muscle. Then he's going to become more savvy as a basketball player. He could be up there and is one of the greatest players ever if he continues at this pace.
Do you realize that the 1-2 in voting for Rookie of the Year this year are going to be 2 American-born Caucasians?
That were teammates last year. How did they not win the national championship? Yeah. People want to know.
That is a great question. Cooper Flagg is the best American male white basketball player since Chris Mullin?
Kevin Love, right?
Well, he's better than Kevin Love. He's going to be better than Kevin Love.
Oh, I thought you said since. Like I'm saying that
I'm saying how far you got to go back. He surpasses Kevin Love. Who's the last American white male player who's better? Well, John Stockton.
No,
I'd rather have Cooper Flagg. I think. Probably.
No, he was not better.
Chris Mullin.
He wasn't better.
Cooper Flagg.
No, dude. Cooper Flagg is so explosive. Like he is so explosive on top
dominant.
Potentially
dominant.
Yeah. No. He has a bright.
Yeah, look,
hey, I'm going to call it right now.
I'm not one.
Hot take. He's going to have an incredible career. It's my hot take.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. You're probably feeling pretty precocious out there on that limb right now. Precariously precocious or something like that. All right, Ron, let's go to the matter at hand here. The NCAA tournament ends tonight, and we're in the Final Four of the only tournament that's even more important than that. I speak, of course, of the spectacular bracket of randomness over at Super 70 Sports. We've got 2 semifinal matchups that tipped off this morning, Ron. And we are going to know our championship game matchup. Well, honestly, we probably are going to know by tonight. We will definitely know by tomorrow. There are the matchups. Game 7s against playoff baseball. And perhaps the more interesting matchup, your first car against 80s SI swimsuit issues. We'll get to it right now, Ronnie, with playoff baseball against Game 7s. I'm on the record that I think this is a sucky Final Four matchup. I would argue that they shouldn't have been on the same side of the bracket, probably, but hindsight is 20/20. And now we have this lousy Final Four game that has too much overlap, and I think we know, therefore, who the winner is going to be. Go ahead and break it down, Ronnie, as only you can. Playoff baseball against Game 7s.
Yeah, it's how does Game 7s not win? It's playoff baseball is included in that. So, like, how does it not win? Like, it's got to be Game 7s.
I feel like you're getting Stanley Cup playoff action. You're getting NBA, but that's all you're getting, right? You're really making a trade. You're saying, I want NHL and NBA Game 7s more than I care about Game 6 of the World Series. Is basically is that the trade people are making?
Listen, I think in the last tournament that we did, I think playoff hockey came up pretty big. Dude, people love playoff hockey. And so a playoff hockey Game 7, like, I see people, I wish I felt the same way everybody else did. I see people on X losing their minds about how excited they are. So I just cannot imagine a world where this is even close. It just makes no sense for it not to be close.
I caught a peek at it earlier, and you are in fact correct. Let's go ahead and run the results here. This is an anticlimax for a Final Four matchup. I'm not going to sit here and say
I blame Jared.
Just blame Jared for everything today. God bless him. 80-20 basically is what we're looking at here. I voted for baseball because I don't care about NBA Game 7s. And while I understand hockey, NHL Game 7s are a big deal, and I enjoy watching playoff hockey sometimes, even as a non-hockey fan, the last year's World Series, I'm not trading the entire World Series just to watch, the fucking Panthers and
Oilers and Panthers.
Somebody play a game. Yeah, to watch the Oilers and Panthers. That's not a good trade for me. I understand why other people go this direction, but for me, it's playoff baseball. Let's go ahead and go to poll replies and see how Super 70s Nation is breaking it down. Googly Moogly with the ultimate Game 7 moment there. That's Gene Larkin single. Dan Mann from Gladden, as Chris Berman used to call him, scoring the game-winning run in Jack Morris's 10-inning shutout masterpiece. Justin Time says, I expected a Game 7 lead, but holy hell, what a shellacking. And I'm a little surprised that it's 80-20 as well. Landon Nolan says, Game 7's all day, except for today's basketball. Nothing but sweeps, please. Mark Sheehan says 80s NBA Game 7s and Stanley Cup Game 7s were and are tough to beat. Yeah, I mean, if I had a chance to see Magic and Larry and Kareem and Robert Parrish and those guys go at it in a Game 7, I might feel differently, but I'm still riding with playoff baseball. I'll be the dissenting voice on that one, as it is. All right, the Moops says the biggest thrill of playoff baseball, Game 7s, of course. Game 7s are universal. No-brainer here. And Jim Kaiser, the poet laureate, says playoffs are seasons, but Game 7s are moments. Live in the moment. All right, well, I will note that I've been outvoted by the public on this one. Aaron Lassiter making a good point here, by the way, saying NHL Game 7s, yes, but NBA Game 7s, no. Splitting hairs here, says good to know. But Game 7s expand to other sports as well. Game 7 should advance easily, and they do. Now, perhaps the only real drama that we will have today, the question is who will they face? And to find the answer to that, we will go to the other side of the bracket and find a matchup that I actually think is pretty damn intriguing, Ron, because we've seen both of these come in hot with lots of support. I know what your vote's going to be, I think. But
You're
your
right.
first car
You're right.
against, got to say the favorite, 80s Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues. And Ronnie, you might argue that if anybody doesn't vote for 80s SI swimsuit issues, that they may themselves have issues.
Or they might have just the baddest ass first car that anybody had, like the car of their dreams, like their parents were rich and they wanted just, I don't know, a brand new Trans Am with the eagle on that hood, and like maybe then you vote for that, but I'm not voting for my light blue VW Rabbit over 80s swimsuit issues.
My 1987 blue Pontiac Sunbird that I wrecked 3 times is no comparison for Elle McPherson or Paulina Porizkova or Cheryl Tiggs or Christy Brinkley or any of those ladies. I'm going to lock my vote in as well for the SI swimsuit issue. Let's go ahead and see what the public has to say. Ron, before we do, a prediction. Give me your prediction. Percentages as well. Putting you on the spot here.
I'm just trying to do my math. I don't know, like high 50s to low 40s. So like 15.
All right.
Like I'm thinking like a 15.
Let's light the candle.
Point difference.
All right. Let's light the candle. I will abstain because I caught a peek at this earlier. But I think you were about right, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, that's
pretty close.
12.
This
12.
is, and I got to tell you, that's not
I'm
as
surprised.
many votes as you're going to need to be completely confident. But yes, I think it's safe to say that swimsuit issues are going to move on. The vote totals are so low. Something is wrong on X with the vote counts. Because about a week ago, they just dropped to they dropped by about 75 or 80% overnight. And I've been poking around, and I've seen other people talking about how they don't think votes are registering in other polls.
Yeah, it's only at 839 now.
Going on.
Yeah, it's only 839 now, and there's a 54 to 46.
3 or 4,000 by now. Yeah, it'd be at 3 or 4,000 by now ordinarily. So it kind of sucks that in the middle of this, thing that we've been building up to, that something's going on over there with X that is suppressing the vote totals. But
I wish Elon never would have bought it.
Votes in to know.
I wish he never would have bought it. I'm kidding.
I didn't say that.
I'd take free speech over voting. I would take free speech.
Well,
I'd take free speech over
you may not
how
care
many votes
if you have an
your
X
polls
account
get.
or not, but I do. So shut the fuck up. This is how rumors get started. Let's go to poll replies, shall we, and see what folks are saying about it. I think we've got ourselves a final. The Moop says, have never once fantasized about a Honda Accord. Well, let me tell you something. I've had 2 Honda Accords, and neither one of them had headlights like that.
I see what you did there.
Adell McPherson, God bless her. That was 1988, by the way.
Wait, you know just by seeing this cropped version that's how horny you were as a kid.
I jacked off to that issue 88 times that year.
God.
So there you have it. Good to know says your first car is great until you realize the expense of having one, unless you were one of the lucky ones to have your parents take care of you. Brandon, look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there. There's a ride. We'll forgive Brandon for voting for his first car. Pat Webb says, easy, my first car was a ginormous pile of shit. And L. McPherson blows it away. Charles Keel says, how is this even close? I can still enjoy an 80s SI swimsuit issue, but my old pickup truck killed me on gas. Today it would cost me $150 to fill it up. And Hoosier Docious says, 1982 Mercury Capri for the win. Look at that sweet bastard. Would you? It all comes down to the car that you had, I think. It's really a referendum on the memories that you have of that first car. We got a final set for tomorrow, Ron. Game 7s against the 80s Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And look, Ron, a little bit of bonus content here before I ask you the question that America is just perched at the edge of their seats to hear. Ronnie, how do you think Game 7s against the 80s swimsuit issue, just quickly, how do you think that breaks down from a voting public standpoint?
Oh, as horny as your audience is, I think they're bigger sports fans. So I think it's going to be...
you think Game 7s are going to take out?
I think so.
Really? All right. Well, last year it was the... what was last year? The last day of school?
Yeah. I think so.
Was that the winter last? That was the winter last year, wasn't it? You can see how well we remember things. All right, Ron. We've come to the moment. There's only one way to find out. There's no way to escape. Ron is like the final boss of this show. He just stands there like Bowser, and there's no way for this program to end until I suck it up, tilt my head slightly, look into the camera quizzically, and ask simply, what the fuck, Ron?
So, Ricky, from time to time, we talk about sporting events being held in weird venues. And so there's a new one. And if you're not doing anything on April 30th, I would like to invite you to hop in the car with your girlfriend, take about a half-hour drive, go to Joliet, Illinois, and you can watch the Joliet Slammers play a game inside the grounds of the old Joliet prison.
Bro, when did you say this is? April 30th?
April 30th. It's a
Oh
half
my
hour
God.
from you.
It's not it's 10 minutes from me, bro.
Oh, is it really? Oh, I just put in the city. I put in your city
minutes.
and Joliet, and I did that. So it's closer.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know how long it is to the prison. I haven't been there to visit mom in a while. But yeah, I'd say it's 15 minutes, something like that.
But if it's a nice day, you should do it.
This is an easy one for me.
Yeah, if it's a nice day, you should do it.
I'm gonna consider it.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty cool. What is April the 30th? What day of the week is that?
It's got to be a weekend. It's going to have to be a weekend.
I mean, I would think.
I don't know.
3 weeks from today's the 26th. It's a fucking Thursday.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a fucking Thursday.
Do it.
It's a night game?
I guess.
I don't know. Are they gonna have like fucking John Wayne Gacy's wife throw out the first pitch or something?
Maybe guys with shivs made out of toothbrushes in the stands.
It's Shiv night here at the old ballpark. Everybody 13 years of age and older gets their own Shiv. So I'd be up for it.
I promised you last week that I'd try to find something phallic.
Oh God! I see the title.
It's phallic adjacent.
I'm already.
It's phallic adjacent.
Oh,
it's all not right. Phallic, but it's phallic adjacent.
I just saw the title in the rundown. Okay. I know this isn't going to be good.
If you want to hop on a plane, go to Seoul, South Korea. Pop in your GPS, the UNI clinic. You can get a nice skin treatment on your face where they inject the tiny fragments of DNA from salmon sperm into your dermis. And if you don't know what your dermis is, it's the thick middle layer of skin.
So there you go. Get a little salmon
facial, a salmon facial,
dermis.
A salmon facial.
There you go.
You don't have anything to add? You're just done?
Does it work? I mean, are women doing this or men doing this?
Yeah. So I guess what it does is
aren't going to be doing it.
I mean, it supposedly hydrates, plumps, and the texture of your skin and helps with wrinkles. I mean, the biggest question that you should have asked me, Ricky, is who figured this out? Like, who figured this out?
Some guy that had been slathering himself in salmon jizz for a decade, and people are like, how old are you again? It's like, I'm 55. I mean, I'm sorry I carded you, sir. What's your secret? I don't know. We live in a strange... If you enjoy this kind of content, my friends, why don't you head over to YouTube and click the subscribe button on the Ricky Cobb Show channel. That'd be a fine thing for you to do. And then once you're there, just start liking everything. Just indiscriminately. Just start clicking on everything, liking it, leaving positive comments. Just rain positive comments on us like dollar bills being thrown at a mediocre stripper in a small town in Iowa. All right, we'll take that. But subscribe to the program, won't you? Because, by God, this is a show by the people, for the people, and you, my friends, are my people. You should be very frightened by that if you've been paying attention to the last 10 or 15 minutes of this episode. My thanks to Ronnie T-Shirts for his contributions to this broadcasting excellence. My thanks as well to Tyler and Colin in Nashville, and to P.A. Jarrett, and of course to producer Tim, America's #1 bird watcher. But most of all, I thank you, you sweet bastards, because without you, we wouldn't be here. And that makes you kind of important, so important that I think that we should make a deal that you'll be here to meet me, to join me next time when we will tee it high and let it fly with another episode of The Ricky Cobb Show.